Hello, hello, hello. As always, if you are new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. So I went on a Bumble BFF date this week with a new friend, and I really like her, and I think we're gonna be good pals. And we were having a conversation about just being our age, mid to late 20s, all of the different like phases of life that different friends are in and stuff like that. And we came up on the conversation of comparing yourself to others and like comparing where you are in your life, what you're doing in your life, what your status is in your life, like compared to other people, and kind of what the aspect of social media plays into that and all of that. And it was such a good conversation. So I wanted to bring the topic here and have that same conversation with y'all today. I've touched on this topic briefly in the past, comparing yourself to others and jealousy and all of that fun stuff, but this topic resonates with me for sure, because obviously I feel more in a groove now than I was in the past with doing these YouTube videos and what people think about me doing these YouTube videos and just the slow, steady progress of like building a channel and all of that fun stuff. But I am definitely plagued by envy. Big time. I don't consider myself to be a jealous person because I consider like the difference between envy and jealousy, like both are involving wanting what another person has, seeing what another person has, seeing what another person's doing and wanting that for yourself. But I think jealousy is more of obviously the negative connotation where you would like to take that from the other person, or you have resentment toward that other person for having what you want. Whereas envy is more of kind of an innocent bystander looking at what other people have and wanting it for yourself and not wanting to take it from them, not resenting them for it, just looking at them and being like, damn, I would really like to have that, or wow, like that, like you envy it. That can be a very powerful feeling. And I've really tried since I started doing YouTube and just since I started like changing my life and kind of sharing things that I'm going through, I've really tried to, and I found this line in Roxy Nafusi's Manifest book, and it's turning envy into inspiration. And I really love that line because envy can be, it's such a fine line, right, between envy and jealousy. It really is. If you step over that line, you can easily go into jealous territory without a doubt. But I think envy can be one of the most powerful feelings if you allow it to manifest in a positive way. And that would be the inspiring side of envy, right? Being able to look at what other people have and being able to look at the success of other people and want it for yourself, and it be motivating and inspiring to you to want to go get that for yourself. Because if these people can do it, then so can you. There's absolutely no reason why, if they can achieve it, you can too. It doesn't mean that your paths are going to be the same. It doesn't mean that your path is going to be as easy or as hard. The path to getting there can look very different for different people, but and the end result can end up looking very different for different people. But I think envy can be such a powerful feeling, and I've tried really hard to be aware of when I'm starting to think like that and be very conscious of it and be able to reframe my thinking when I start to feel that way, because it is easy to start to go down the jealous route. I think the jealous route is by far the easier route to take because it is almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Well, they have it. Why don't I have it? I'll never have that. You know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to go down that kind of negative thought process. And I think that social media does not make this easier at all. And this is one of the topics me and my friend were having. It's very hard on social media to get away from envy and jealousy because you are just constantly surrounded by people's highlight reels 24/7. People are showing you the best of their lives in the most curated fashion to be able to put their best foot forward, right? It's not reality. And you can tell yourself that till you're blue in the face, but it is very hard to continuously see these things every single day and not start to go down that jealous negative route, because it feels like everyone has what you don't. It starts to feel like a pressure cooker, right? And I have definitely noticed this for myself in kind of two areas, I guess. Jealousy and envy can come in any aspect of life, right? I know people that are jealous about financial status, people that are jealous about lifestyle, people that are jealous about relationships, having children. Like, jealousy and envy can wither its way into any aspect of your life. I find that I start to go down envious routes a lot when it comes to career and finances and kind of lifestyle, right? So, and it has so much to do with like what I'm working towards in my life, right? I think that I'm not super envious and jealous of people's relationships. I'm not super envious and jealous of people's building of families and getting married and stuff like that, because that's not what I'm focused on right now in my life, but that may be what you're focused on right now in your life. For me, it has a lot to do with I'm building this YouTube channel. I want to create this life for myself. I want to create this lifestyle for myself. I want to create this financial freedom for myself, and that is what so much of my life is geared toward and focused on and being worked on right now. Like, so much of my energy and effort is being put in that direction that it can be really, really hard to get on social media and see other people in your circle, or people that you've known, or people that you just don't know at all, and you're just watching them from afar on social media. It can be really hard to constantly look at people living the lives that you quote unquote want for yourself, right? It's hard for me sometimes, and I will say that I think one of my biggest tips for when you start to feel yourself getting in this headspace when it comes to social media is I have really, really, really tried to unfollow or mute, or I don't really block people, but I unfollow people and I mute people a lot on social media, whether it be muting their stories, whether it be muting their posts, whether it be unfollowing them. It's nothing personal, especially if it's people that I know in my life, like I have actual personal connections to. It is nothing personal at all. Sometimes it's just my way of protecting my mental space. I think it's the best way that I've found to protect my mental space and protect those relationships that I have with people, because if it's people that I actually know in my real life and have like personal connections with, I don't want to ever start to feel jealous of those people. I don't want to ever start to feel resentful of those people or start to cop an attitude or have these like negative feelings about them. Like, I don't ever even want to go down that route. I will just like mute them or unfollow them, worst case scenario. I try to mute people that I personally know, and then I will unfollow people that I just don't know at all. But I have found that that is one of the best routes for me when it comes to protecting myself and protecting my mental space while on social media, is not to follow people and not to watch content that makes me feel bad about myself or makes me feel bad about what I'm doing. Because something that my dad has drilled into me from a very young age, my dad is one of the most competitive people I've ever known in my entire life. Like, he's competitive about every aspect of life. I grew up playing sports with him. I have worked with him in business. I've seen so many different aspects of my dad, and he is competitive in every single aspect of life. And something that he has taught me from a young age, because he said that he wished that he understood this younger, was that there is enough success for everyone to go around. He used to tell me, he still tells me all the time, to just worry about my own little red wagon. I don't need to be concerned about what everyone else is doing. I don't need to be concerned about who's more successful or how they're going about doing this or this, that, or the other. I need to be worried about my own little red wagon. And if I am doing things every day to move me in the direction that I want to go, I will reach where I'm trying to go. I might not reach it as quickly. I might not reach it as unscathed. I might not reach it as smoothly. But if I keep going and I keep pushing, I will reach that light at the end of the tunnel. He has told me that for so long. And he has always said, that he wished that he understood the concept at a younger age, that there is enough success for everyone to go around. Someone else's success does not mean that you are not then able to be successful. Just because someone else has what you have doesn't mean that you are not then able to get it for yourself. Just because someone looks like they have what you have doesn't mean that it's always as it seems on the outside. And I've just always thought that that was like such good advice. And obviously, you know, when you're younger, you're like, whatever, parents, right? But as I've gotten older, I've really been able to see that advice play out in my life. And I've really been able to watch other people play out that advice, both successfully and unsuccessfully. And it's one of those things where it's that scarcity mindset versus that abundance mindset, right? The concept of feeling like there is a limited number of resources and there's a limited amount of success out there in the world versus feeling like you can attract and you can create whatever it is that you're wanting to do. It's those two different mindsets, and it's so much easier said than done. Do not think for one second that I have no twinges of jealousy and that I don't look at people and feel envious. I feel it all the time, like all the time. But it's one of those things that I think as I've really started to become conscious of these thoughts and really started to change my perspective around it and take steps and strides on social media to kind of avoid it as a whole, I think that it's lessened its impact on my life, right? So I think that there is a point in time in my life where these feelings really started to kind of control my thought process, and it almost paralyzed me from doing things that I wanted to do because I felt like I couldn't have it because so many other people already do, so there's no room for me in the space. Or if they've already done it, then why do I need to go do it? Somebody else has already done it. Or it's just that mindset that I think kept me paralyzed for so long, especially when it came to YouTube and social media and like creating this channel and sharing content. It really paralyzed me for a lot of years on getting started doing this, and I don't ever want it to paralyze me moving forward in things that I want to do in my life. I think that there is so much value in looking at other people's paths and looking at other people's processes and taking bits and pieces and learning from your surroundings. But I have found that as much as I can kind of keep my blinders on and like just keep going in the direction that I want to go and keep moving towards what I want to move towards, I have found that it has been like a much healthier mental space for me to be in as I'm kind of moving towards my goals and reaching for my goals and not giving up on what I want in life. It's so much harder than I anticipated to like just keep going, just keep moving in the right direction, one foot in front of the other. You're gonna feel discouraged at times. You're gonna lose the oomph behind you sometimes, right? Like just keep going. And I do think that so much of this has to do with that mindset around turning envy into inspiration, looking at what's going on in the world around you and realizing that you can have what it is that you want to achieve. You can reach it. You can do it. It's just maybe not going to look like everyone else. It's maybe not going to be as smooth as everyone else. It's maybe not going to be as quick as everyone else, or maybe it will be. Who knows? But you can do it. And that's the mindset that I'm in right now. And I just had this conversation with this new friend the other night, and I was like, wow, not only was this such a good conversation, but it feels good to know that she was feeling a lot of the same things. I think it's a very widely felt feeling around this topic, and just kind of being in your 20s. This probably doesn't stop at any age because you're constantly watching what other people are doing in their lives and in different stages of their life. But I just thought it was a really good conversation, so I wanted to come here and talk to y'all about it as well. Obviously, y'all know that I love to hear from y'all in the comments, so please be sure to drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about this conversation, this topic. Y'all know I I love chit-chatting with y'all, and I will see you back next time.